on the top instance pictures, we've got juvenile problems of 13, vandalism of 4, and juvenile, I don't know what UNG is.
Ungovernable.
John, can you speak in the mic for better recording?
Ungovernable. So, is it possible that those three are all kind of combined, or are they very distinctly three different things?
They're distinctly three different things. Each incident that we respond to will only be classified as one category. And the most equivalent that we can come up with. So vandalism, of course, brief plan over there. The juvenile problem versus ungovernable juvenile can be very similar. Depending on the deputy on how they deal with the best fit, but it would be each individual.
So, the four vandalism, we deal with what seems to be, to us, at least to me, like a lot of vandalism, depending on time of year. Yeah, my partner here, Kyle, tells me I should be grateful that I don't have the amount of vandalism that we have compared to what they got in Salt Lake. I probably am. But I just, when you report like vandalism or something like this, does it typically come about because somebody has called and reported, I've had vandalism here or have something? Is that typically how you get notified of it, or do you on rare occasion be able to roll up on it?
We do on rare occasion roll up on it, but most of them would be reported. Probably 2 years ago now, but we have a lot of vandalism in the tunnel.
Right.
So several reports came in for that, but then on one day, as it was a continuing thing, I was patrolling through the area and caught some in the act. So it can happen, but usually it'd be reported. That or smashing flower pots. Last summer, they were features of the road.
Okay, thank you.
I've seen a couple of reports on the news about electric motorcycles versus electric bikes. Do you see that problem out here, like they're seeing that in Salt Lake and some of the other areas?
We haven't seen that. They can stop riding on the roadway. We did actually just have a little update yesterday, and the state has just changed a bunch of the statutes regarding defining them and classifying them all in one big broad category now. So I think that will help because they're classifying most of them as a motorcycle now, so it will require being licensed driver, having a registered vehicle, insurance, helmets, all of that. Hopefully that will help. And then a lot of education trying to make kids keep it off or trails, stop trying to ride down the middle of the street.
It goes so fast. I mean, that's the problem. They are fast.
That's why I think it'll help having them classified differently now for they'll start requiring driver's licenses for most of them.
So, so they're required to have driver's license. And that means also that the electric bike or scooter or whatever must have a license.
Or the broad category will be now requiring that versus before where there was a whole bunch of gray areas. Is that classified motorcycle or is it an electric bike? That should hopefully clarify a lot more.
The biggest problem I see with around here, I mean, I don't want to come over because it just, they come to a stop sign or come to an intersection, I'll look, I don't see them or they're just blowing down the road. It's very easy to pull out and crunch them.
Absolutely.
So I hope that this would slow them down and make them more responsible. There's no way to, I was in Salt Lake the other day and waited my turn, made the left turn, and got partway through the intersection. And here comes this bike, this scooter, from behind me. Just blue right through that intersection, if I kept going, I would T-bone her easier, I just happened to steer out the corner of mine. And I don't understand how you can tolerate that. I don't understand how drivers can anticipate all that.
And then the parents allowing it for,
Well, this person was a parent. I mean, could have been.
so that will allow for a lot more traffic enforcement on it, though. I believe that's what takes effect.
They already took this.
They already took effect, yeah, first of all. We just got that update, and then a lot of, continued education, trying to keep the word out there for, hey, be careful on these things, you're gonna get creamed by a car.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one question. As the weather starts getting warmer, do you know if you control parking lot?
My cell phone patrol, I frequently do, we do investigations now, so these are the other guys, but we do, try to focus on these areas that at nighttime they come in out of the lake and start causing chaos, and then get calls from the people that border the lake, hey, we're getting well over there.
Yeah, we just had a problem up there right where I came in, so I was just wondering.
It's still going on.
Oh, it's still going
Yeah.
on?
Right, yeah,
Take off, and we'll see if I can find it.
yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Next order of business is public comments and the public.
Oh, actually. Hello,
State your name and your address and.
my name is Mary Wilson. I live at 185 Lakeview. In full disclosure, I also do some of the gardening here at Stansbury, but tonight I'm here primarily just as a homeowner. So, a couple suggestions, a couple questions. So first of all, several years ago, there has been some discussion about paid parking, monitoring the parking lot a little bit better. Wondering if we can circle back to that. I mean, I was downtown, I was in Austin, I was everywhere else. People are making tangible money and being able to monitor their parking lots a lot more successfully than we do. I think it's something that, as a board, maybe you could reach out and look at. So that's thing one. Thing two is, the bugs in this place are out of control. Yes, I know it's a lake. Yes, I know we have mosquitoes, big ones. But I also know that many homeowners contract with multiple pest control companies. And as an agency, it would be really nice if we could address certain areas, i.e. Solomon Park, the gazebo, Delgado Beach, the clubhouse areas themselves, so that people who live here can sit and enjoy this beautiful area that we live in without getting annihilated. I would think that with the multiple bug companies that make billions of dollars from homeowners, we should be able to put something together advantageous to the agency that would just make the area better for everyone else. Just a suggestion. Thing three, we lived out here for 7 years. The tennis court has been the bane of my existence for that time. They look terrible. This is our front door to people coming into the community. When, if, what are we going to do about those things? I spend an inordinate amount of time reading them and picking up cups and glasses because lots of people, the kids should do them for basketball and so forth. But I think we spend a lot of money on stuff that is not as visible or that we can monitor as well. The other thing is those lights up there don't work, and that's foolish. Again, we've got all these less than savory people coming around, and lights are a good way to call to action and to say, what are you doing? So, those are my thoughts, questions, comments.
Thank you for what you do.
Good, thanks, Marie.
Okay.
Appreciate that. I'll take those things into consideration.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to general manager updates.
The biggest thing we have right now is the hiring issues going on. We've got a lot of neighboring communities that are paying more than we are. So I put this little graph together that shows what we had budgeted for in terms of manpower. And my projections as of this week as to where it is with what we've been able to hire. We are continuing to hire. The biggest issue is on the irrigation side. I thought we had that solved, with the unexpected loss of one of our irrigation folks has sort of caused us to scramble a little bit in that area. So, we do have, we're putting in place a on-call contractor to fill in the gaps. Be aware that we'll probably see some struggles this summer because of just not being able to fill out the staff as we wanted. In terms of operations, we've done a lot of work on Tooele. Afrotech has completed replacing those valves, and it looks like it's helping significantly with water retention inside the pool. We have rewired the electrical lights, and Mary mentioned the lighting to the tennis or the basketball courts up there. We looked at those while we were doing it. We would have to, if we wanted to put those into play, we would have to completely rewire the wiring to that. Evidently, somebody was not happy with the lights, so they ripped out what wiring was there running from the pool area up to those light fixtures. So that is doable, but we would have to be rewired. We'd probably have to redo all those lights because they're significantly older. So we did look at that. We're looking at a number of places where we need to do electrical rewiring. There was one bad fixture on the light inside the pool. We're going to replace that. That will probably be an LED bulb. We're looking to see if it's wise to replace all those old halogen ones with LED. The electrician suggested that because of the power draw differential. We draw a lot less power with the LEDs, so we're looking at that. The pump, we like to rebuild the pump instead of buying a new one. That saved us about $6,000. That rebuild is now complete. We completed that last week. As soon as we refill the pool, now that we have the pump in place, we'll test that backflush line, which is in place. And if you've been down there lately, you've seen that the ADA ramp is framed out, so that ADA ramp will report hopefully this week. That will complete the secondary access so that they will now enter through the place where the individuals are collecting passes. And save us one personnel in doing that. Initial lifeguards training's been complete. They are basically hired. I think they're short one lifeguard right now, but he is basically at full staff. A few other things, we did the rewiring to the clubhouse lights out here. That was caused by when they installed the light, they put the wiring in conduit, but they didn't seal the end of the conduit wire. So what they had was a water wire. And all the wires rotted and so we redid that, put a good J-box on it, sealed it, so that should solve that problem. We looked at some issues at Sagers. We've already started improving some of the stuff that we saw a few weeks ago. One of the issues is going to be on field 4. That dirt is interspersed with a lot of little rocks. So John and I looked at a couple of ways to fix that. It's going to probably require a little bit of labor intensive work to clean that out and strain the rocks out of good dirt, put the good dirt back, and put some conditioner on top of that. Spiva is having difficulty getting people, so they'd like us to look at basically giving them a turnkey field, so they would not do any dragging or anything that they typically do. And I said we'd entertain that, but that would be at an additional cost, and that would make them happy. But there's no way we can continue to add additional services without accounting for those in our budget. Golf course bathrooms, we turned the cleaning of those facilities over to our regular facilities cleaning crew about a week ago. Some of you are out there may have seen a difference, maybe not, let me know, so I know how that did. We're also looking at the move of the cemetery fence. You guys will remember last year, we adjusted the lot line, now we have to move the fence over. Got a meeting with the county tomorrow to talk about how we're going to do that. But the initial concept was split cost. The latest conversation I had with him was, well, we're just going to let you guys move it, so I'm going to try and back that back to what we originally agreed to, which was the split cost.
What are you dealing with the county on that, Jim?
Corey, and also send a note to Andy Welsh. From the gardener, she's been working on the 2 entryways to the park. I did approve having those monoliths resurfaced. So we're going to resurface those 2 monoliths to sort of spruce up that end. You've probably seen out here, we're adding that concrete area under the mat because that just gets trashed no matter what we do for grass. And adjacent to there on the other side, they are replacing that grass that would never grow with rock similar to what's in the medians in the existing parking lot. Another issue we're having is the retention basin across from Solomon Park. Mary's, we've done that a couple of times. That I think that's a STID property, is it not?
Between Old Canyon, the fence, and the road in Nevada?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we need to look at how we're going to handle that. That's one of the things. I got a whole page of stuff. If you're interested in that, I could shoot that to you offline to see just some of the stuff she's doing. But we gave her a full-time gardener to train, and they've been doing a lot of work around the park, so we've seen a lot of that come to fruition. Just some examples, we were talking about vandalism. This is Woodland Park. Somebody decided they would kick out that little bubble that's in the flooring step. We did buy a replacement that just came in. That's about $450 just for the park. This is a port-away bathroom, and you do the same thing at the bathroom by the pool, bathroom in Parkview. For some reason, toilet paper semblance in the bathroom seems to be a thing. Almost every bathroom we're seeing in the last 2 weeks is just doing stuff like that. And we are getting a lot of graffiti. This is over the observatory sign. We've seen some in the tunnel that we haven't seen in the last few years. So my guys are spending a lot of time doing that, and I could have them doing something else. So that's what we're seeing out there.
So, where you going? So on, down in the tunnel, you said you've had some, really over those things that are down there?
Nothing too significant that it's, yep.
So what?
Nothing too significant that it's similar to that.
Oh, we're still using that coating, protect those?
We are, but if you still have to buy it, you have to use.
Yeah.
There's a swap sticker on the outside that says clubhouse.
Oh, yeah, I thought about that. So I didn't put any of the verbiage up there because I didn't want to put up in the meeting. But there is tough scratch, it's just gone. In terms of projects, we're a quarter in, so I sort of use this as a descriptor of how we're doing over the year, what we're doing, how the costs are deployed. I'm going to introduce some of the new board members to 3 terms. Expense means we've gotten the bills, we paid the bills, money's gone. Committed means we have a contract or we have a something in place at a fixed price, so that's a committed number. Program means we got that in the program, but we haven't actually done anything as far as getting the contract in place or establishing the firm costs and time. So this is where we are. It's about par for the course. We've completed about 10% of the projects completely. We've got about another 5 or 6% in contracts, and we're working on getting the rest of these in place on the capital project side. One thing, I will probably move the pump because we're going to buy one, and it was a hard item that can be appreciated. Thank you. Yeah. So since that's a repair, that would probably drop off the capital project list. When you go over to the capital maintenance side, I stuck that in the overall pool revamp build. So that's where you see that move. I would probably suggest moving this VFD over to capital projects, because that is a hard piece of equipment we can't appreciate. So not just minor moves right now. As we get into some of these, you see that we spent a lot less over here because we're still working through some of the major stuff up there. So pretty good start, and we'll track this through the year. You see the same categories: expense, committed, and projected. Potential adds, this is capital projects list. I have a one over in list. For those of you who weren't aware, last year on hole 3, back here, there's a weir. It goes up to a pond up here, and it also splits off and goes out this way. There's some discussion about where that line actually goes. I have a map that shows it doing this with a pencil line that shows it goes this way. Brett's pretty convinced it goes this way, but he said he hasn't been able to find a manhole or anything here. We might try starting coming this way so that we can actually define where that piping is. Obviously, if it's coming this way, you can see that right-hand turn. But there is a break in the line, significant breakdown about here, that's been caused by the roots getting in there and actually shifting the pipe. So one of the things we're going to look at this time around is do we actually need to slip line that so that it doesn't continue to give us problems. We also might want to look at, there's a huge cotton tree over there that Mac's pretty convinced is giving us issues. We might want to look at, do we want to take that out? To me, the break looks significantly further west than where that tree is, so I don't know if that's really the cause, or Mac just doesn't like trees on his golf course. The weir also needs repair in that area, or at least the backflow thing. Brett and I talked a little bit about what we need to do to make that a little more functional. The other issue that came up is when the irrigation was put in from on the back side of the road coming to the clubhouse. It was initially off the golf course, so that was non-culinary water. Sometime later, that was rerouted and put on the culinary system, but we don't know, or Prince folks don't seem to think that there was a sufficient break done there to prevent cross-contamination. So I want to fully understand that, and then we'll look at a way to maybe remedy that problem. That's a significant problem if that is the case. There is a line on hole 17 that needs to be done, similar to what we've done off parking off hole 3 on the golf course. If and when we have those guys come out to do 3, then we might want to have them do that one at the same time. The other thing we're looking at is refurbishment of the proposed park tennis courts. We took the poles out this week, and you can see that they were fractured and broken. This is what it looked like in the ground.
Where's Rose Park?
Rose Park's right over by me, right across from elementary school. One of the things that's happening is these were not very well sealed, and so these are all full of water. You see the corrosion on the bottom of those stanchions for the thing, and we've got a few local farmers starting to grow off. We've been talking with an individual who's put in the racquetball courts over by Portray. We have a proposal. We gave us several of them. This is the one I like the best, to take out the western tennis court there and replace that with 2 pickleball courts. So you would then have a new court here, new court, and then 2 pickleball courts here to give us more usability on that particular court. I might for final estimate, the initial ballpark figure is around $50K to do that. It would give us a lot more. I think it's a pretty good deal for $50K to get that much usability out of those old courts.
So for that amount of money, would we be getting just a coating on top of the tennis court area? And what would happen when these?
So they would resurface the ground, put a new surface down, add the pickleball courts, they got chain link fence that runs between, so it goes down here and then between those two courts, sort of, there's a lot of things that prevent, that sort of seal those off, so. That might make that a much more usable area, if you actually have something you could do with it, so.
As I recall, I don't know, just memory not be quite sure, but as I recall, there was a tennis group that was using that tennis court area there and had given us a net put up across there, and then that.
Yes, the standard asked that we repaint the court, which we did. They went over to put nets in and decided to stay before the stable. And so we never got any new nets. We do have a new net down in our basement that we purchased.
Oh, we need to put a new pile.
We need to put new piles. His suggestion is to use a new technique, which is not driven into the ground, but actually use both anchors to anchor them on the surface. And that would prevent the leaking that you saw on the ground. I don't know if I like that or not. I should get more into it, understand that system better. But that is one thing that we would look at doing, is how you do that.
I'm getting bids on resurfacing right now, and I'm just looking at my bid. Just to resurface is $50,000. So
How much?
$15,400
For two courts. So it sounds like your deal might be pretty good.
Yes, if that's, I'm waiting to see the numbers.
Yeah, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, so, but if it's 50,000 to do all that, it might not be a bad idea. Okay, so the last thing is, I've been looking at the parking lot out here. We might want to start considering sometime over the next few years doing a resurface out there, because we're getting some significant cracks in the surface of that asphalt. And some areas that are starting to degrade. So before it gets too bad, it might be worth resurfacing that now as opposed to doing that. We also have, when we do that, we've also got some areas over in the shop by Sayers Field that's pretty rough that we might want to do at the same time. So,
Do we consider our park lot out here, what you're talking about, developing some alligator and larger cracks? Do we have any situations where we get heavy loads like buses and big trucks and stuff that get out there and sit there, spin around, whatever, it could cause this kind of damage, or is it just totally wet?
we do get some buses with the junior golf tournaments that come in, but not a lot of heavy load traffic that we've seen. So it would be more bus level, as opposed to a semi with a rocks.
Okay, thanks.
Finances real quick. These, as I mentioned to somebody, these are starting to regress back to the mean from the high numbers we saw in January and February. This number we think is off because they told us that there was $70K that came in tax money that they think should have been applied in 25. So we won't lose money, it will just be applied to 25 and 20 instead of 26. The only place that's significantly under revenue stream is the cemetery. Everybody else is either at or pretty close to the revenue stream. Park and recs, it's all meant function when we get the payments for the sports stuff. So they're not too far off their goals. So we aren't expecting major changes by the end of the year to the revenue numbers. Maybe some additional tax money, and we're hopeful that early start will push this a lot higher. So, there's the total revenue numbers on the graph. And in terms of expenses, we don't have anybody that's really over-expensed with the exception of the pool. primarily because they've done their training early, so you see a big chunk of that training that we had planned for in May was done in April. So that's what's driving their costs. That's it.
We're gonna put water in the pool.
Hopefully starting tomorrow. We had to have the water out so that we could replace the lights and do the electrical and all that kind of stuff. So we need the water in the pool, and once it's full, then we're going to test the back flush, and then it should be ready to go.
Was in the bathroom on number 17 yesterday, spotless.
So, you know,
Really nice.
we had planned on switching that over to the grounds crew this year. I had to wait till I had people to do it, so we would have done it earlier, but I didn't have ready.
Any other questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim. Move on to discussion items of the community partnership project, messaging for parents and power. Kasey, is that you?
Have those, we'll just start with that one for a second. Okay, so I got the estimate back on, the messaging that we were talking about doing around the park. And we previously had talked about doing the pickleball court, and doing the screens up there around the pickleball court. But in my discussions with Jim and Ingrid, and using the money to a good use, we decided that probably wasn't the way to go, because it would be putting up banners that get blown away, and it doesn't take long before they're just shred. So, when the R&R Partners people were here, they said, what else appeals to you? And I told them different spots around the park, and we drove around everywhere, and they took pictures, and they measured, and then they came back with estimates. And then they told me that I was way over on my cost, and I said, I wasn't assuming that we're going to do everything. You were the one that wanted to measure everything. So then they went back and they looked at what was within the grant amount that we were awarded. And so we have you can advance that. So the Stansbury Quarterway Pavilion was the place that we talked about. And we talked about two different options. One was splitting it in half, and they gave me the option for the full width. And we talked about taking out that box, that reservation box, and putting it somewhere else. And then if you want to go to the next one, the Stansbury Pool center wall. And then you can go to the next one, it's right next to it with the maintenance double doors. And then the next one is the pool restroom. So on one side, both of those doors, and then the next slide is the other side.
Stacy,
Yeah.
I guess I lost that. I thought you were talking about banners, now you switched to something else.
Well, we talked about doing the banners, and we talked about it together, and decided it wasn't really going to serve the
No,
purpose.
I got that, so what are you trying to show me here?
So they can put messaging up on these doors.
So the stencil would be a wrap.
Wrapped. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a couple of, I think, some. So these were ideas. So like she said up here, let's know if you like any of these. You can design off of them for your areas, or you can decide what you want. I have my own personal feelings about some of these, but I need to know what you think about them. I need to know what you think about doing all of those different areas. We have enough money to do all the areas that we talked about and putting the messaging up in those areas, or doing whatever you want to do. And then they will design it to your liking. So if you want mountains in them, if you want a beach in them, whatever you want in them, I just need to tell them what your ideas are, and even the colors and like that.
So Stacy, the idea would be to put these up, wraps, as you call it, and they would be there for a long time, not that you would take them down in 12 months or something. Is that what you're saying?
So, well, the longer they stay, the better. And, like I mentioned before, Tooele City Pool, they still have their job. The Tooele City Library still has their job.
Are they inside the building or outside?
Those are, the pool is inside. Yeah, the library, there's one on the outside that they are, but there is one on the outside.
So you've been coming here for about a year. And you've seen me get fired up over vandalism and spray paint and all that crap.
Yep.
And so, the places that you are showing us are maybe inside the pool, not so much, but.
Right,
inside
the
that
restroom.
pavilion, the restroom doors
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff, I mean, those are targets right now. I'm wondering if by putting up something like this, that makes them a bigger target, or if they, when we first put paintings down in the tunnel, we never had any problem. We did before, but once we put that in there, we've had very little. I guess we got a little bit now, but that would be the first time in a couple of years we've ever got hit really hard. And so do these folks understand that idea? Do they, because I like the idea. I want it to be permanent, but I just don't trust it.
Right.
Two valves.
Right, yeah, and I thought about this a lot, and they say that usually when you put up things like this, or you do the tunnel, that it deters them, because they do not want to go on, they have a respect for other people's art. So then when you heard the tunnel got vandalized, it's like, like that doesn't help our cause.
Yeah, I don't know how bad we got hit, maybe Jim does it, but I mean, we haven't, it's been really good, frankly. But, I want to support this and make it work. I don't know what to.
Can they apply an anti-graffiti coating that this area can go over that?
We've got graffiti going over the whole tunnel and stuff, but it's not the fact that we can't protect it. It's the fact that I have to send 3 guys down there every time somebody decides to get his nose out of joint, wants to paint it black, then I gotta have 3 guys down there for 4 hours, for 6 hours, fixing it.
Right.
I mean, I can't afford that.
Right, and I think with these, if they, were the subject of graffiti, then R&R would come out and just take it off. They can be removed.
That's like you're giving up. I can't tolerate that either.
What do we do? I don't know. Okay, yeah,
There's a fairly slick surface when you clean those.
okay, yeah.
My biggest concern when we came up with these was the pool restrooms, because those are a target anyway. We haven't seen a lot in the pavilion portway. We have in the restrooms, but not in the pavilion.
But the portway pavilion, in my opinion, doesn't get as much traffic as, say, around here. And I would be willing to bet that as soon as portway gets, you put something like this down there, and that's an attraction in my book. And they would be down there racing king. I'm surprised we don't have more trouble down there than we do. Just because it's out of sight, out of mind, nobody cares.
Right. And really, we don't know, so.
Well, if I'm gonna spend some money, if I'm gonna risk something, or you're gonna risk something, I'd rather go to something that's more of a sure thing as opposed to something that's what if. So.
Well, I think the pool part, I think that's safe in there because it's gated and.
That's my little pickle
Okay, like, oh, it
Okay,
is.
anyway,
There are no sure things in life.
There are.
Can I size this? How much are you talking, what you proposed there? What dollar amount is it?
If we received a $5,000 grant.
Okay. So if we did a couple doors as a test, what would, let's say we did the bathroom doors and put those up for this summer to see if they, what would that
We
be?
could do that. The bathroom doors were $125.
It's pretty simple for a test. And
so
then
we
if
put
those
them
are
on, yes, we put them on the south doors where it's kind of, the north doors, people could see them.
Yeah, probably.
The south doors, we have some lights and maybe that's, I thought that's, is that just the door, is that gonna be the whole side of the building?
That's just the door. And then they had their installation cost, but that was just doing the door itself, without the installation.
well, as a test, put the two doors or however you want to budget out. Have them throw it on there, see if anything happens, and then gradually contract to get the rest of it done. If
Yeah.
working, it's great, fix it.
They're great suggestions, it's gotta look better than it does now. I'm shocked about that.
Is there a way to maybe update those pictures, maybe some actual photographs versus
Yeah, I asked
making
them.
them a little bit more attractive?
Yeah, so once, they said once that you decided on kind of the design that you wanted to go with, so they could do a mock-up, and we could see exactly what it would look like.
That'd be good.
Jim, if we want to consider that double door that's in that one. There, we gotta replace those doors. I mean, I'm assuming it goes right on the door, right?
Right.
I don't know if it's clean though, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good place. I like the idea of
That one,
maybe being there up above, if that's what you were thinking. Is that what it was, Stacy?
How much is that?
The center wall,
Yes.
the center wall was 1,400.
I like that one, yeah.
That would
that'd be really
show. Lighting work or something that would have to.
Because we see how.
Oh, yeah, the problem with that right there, that's got ethos on the
That's
surface,
something that we would
have
have to
to
have.
clean and I think
They
that.
have that.
but the surfaces and how they apply it, obviously.
I'll take it rapid.
Yeah, they talked about what they have to do with stucco, but
So how much we are entitled to $5,000 worth of art, is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah, including the installation.
And so if you think of other places, we can certainly consider.
Yeah, we talked about, doing the ballpark, the baseball park, maybe like next year, because we will
Yeah, but
probably.
that was with Bannon, wasn't it? And your idea.
No, on the, like, the concession stand, all that area.
Backside of the concession stand.
On the south side. I guess that's something to consider.
A lot of baseball parks have been done really nicely. They look good.
Just come back with some picture options. and-
Yeah, so can you look at that?
We need to decide on.
Yeah, you have to decide
What one we want.
the art,
Well,
so.
Here's the art ideas.
You know, that likes appealing to me. I'm saying, is there a way to make it a little bit more, well, maybe not.
Can't you just, go ahead, can't you just toss in the AI and say, modify it from some Stansbury items, and, like the logo of the park?
Yeah,
Let AI do it.
yeah. That's what's gonna put these people out of a job, right? It's AI, but, yeah, no, we can talk about,
You can turn it over to our and say, an art, and then say,
Put something, say that, keep them
Like the word.
Keep them moving in the right direction.
Oh, I see, that's just a.
So for this one, I think you keep it swimming, right? For baseball, you can do something
Yes.
like baseball.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep it.
For the restrooms, I don't know, car shooting, I don't know.
I don't know about the pavilion, I didn't think about that one.
Restroom looks like toilet paper and bathroom.
Come back with some options that we can get.
Okay.
I kind of like that alcohol, when we put that on the bathroom floor.
That middle one,
Yeah,
where it says don't
I
let
mean, you know,
alcohol.
I don't know what, I can't compare that. If you're doing, I would think that would take the whole side of the
Right.
restroom down there.
Yeah, I think that's a little.
Are you trying to do a messaging here?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there a theme?
It's prevention of underage drinking, so the messaging is going out to parents.
So there's stock messages that you work
Oh, they
with,
can
or
create.
you write in your.
They can create whatever message you want, but, yeah, we're gonna do that, it's like.
Okay, so come back with some options for, what are the office staff? Narrow down some options, and then we can decide first the board wants to go another route.
Like I said, we've got a article meeting here on Wednesdays, maybe I'll pick stuff up with them.
I suggest, let's get some.
Stacy, how soon do you have to know so we can get this something a lifetime?
Keep moving,
Well, I mean, but,
I don't think
I
that's a
guess
problem.
we'll give you,
Another,
It'd be nice to get the pool ones in place by the time we open the pool.
well, yeah, but that's like 30 days, so
Yeah, that's
I'm trying to figure out, okay, what,
I mean, this doesn't necessarily board approval, right?
Well,
It's just,
As long as everybody's good with the concept and we got some direction, we can move forward.
I think you just send out an email. Yep.
Yeah, this is what we look for. I don't think we need to do another board meeting.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want us slowing you, so.
okay, yeah, I can work with them.
Suggestions, if you did, then we could, you know, just as a city, I don't know if it's, but we've got one in the swimming pool in the center, you know, wall, and then maybe the two restrooms, south door, north doors, or whatever.
I really want one on the middle, where the showers are, I thought that would be really cool, but it didn't make the break.
What did it?
The middle, where you have the restroom,
Yeah.
and there's that middle part where there's those two shower heads, right
Oh,
there. I thought that was cool.
no, that's technical.
It all is, right?
That would probably work, because they,
Yeah, well, you know, if you do this, you can.
you know, like,
thank you, Stacey.
All right, thank you.
Planning committee update, who's taking that responsibility?
I've got it. We held the planning committee meeting on the 16th, and I went through some of the stuff where we're at. Soundwall Trail, we're getting pretty close to putting out this RFP. We have comments back, and Enzyme is now incorporating comments on both the RFP and the plan set. The longest pole in the tent is this 250 additional Mill Pond Park design. Enzyme just sent us back a second go around to that one today. And I think we asked them to put a couple of things in return pretty quick. So I think Sean and I have agreed we're pretty close to sending this off to UDOT. So once they approve it, and I get all these in from Enzyme, we can go ahead and issue the RFP and start getting bids to see what level of effort that is. Target date issue that is around the 1st of May. So that's, this is the 250 feet we're talking about. One of the issues we had was the side slopes for ADA, you wanted 2 or less, and we sent it back to Enzyme and said, okay, adjust this so that it's 2 or less, and they actually came back with 1.5% side slope along their adjusted trail. So we asked them for some additional information, grade and fill and stuff like that, to put it in there. And I think they're pretty much done with that, so.
So they didn't tell you if you got to fill underneath that sidewalk? Yeah.
So this is the frontage road, this comes down, there's a big stand of trees, so we're going around the stand of trees and we got the upper, you look at the current parking lot, there's a Y on the concrete. This hooks into that upper Y concrete right up here. And then, I'll talk a little bit later about where we're going down to the amphitheater and some, stuff we played off with this design versus potential designs for that.
So
This is the overview, and then this is the close-up.
it didn't say that we have to put a lot of fill underneath the sidewalk.
It didn't look like it, now, as you can
Very
see,
good
it was,
plan.
you're going from maybe 2 or 2.5 to 3% to 1.5, and so it wasn't a lot of that.
Right?
Okay, Brett?
Go ahead. I didn't realize where we were at.
Okay.
Can I go back one? Sure. So people are gonna cut this corner.
What's that?
They're gonna cut this corner, so you might wanna just put this in concrete right here.
Yeah.
So it's-
Yeah, that's good. That was one detail we asked them for, to show how they would fit this stuff together. Sagewood Village, phase 14. I got input from, I think, almost everybody on that plan set. Those comments went back to Ivy on the 17th. We let them know that we will hopefully have a set of drawings for them to put chunks into their plans. Their final plan set for that thing in terms of irrigation and some of the other stuff. We gave them specific instructions in terms of landscape and cut and fill that Ivory has to adjust their plan set to. We also asked them, I should have put my cobble together. We also asked them to phase that with the phase 13 piece of property that's going to join together with that. So we wanted to make sure it was put together in a coherent plan set when we get those back. Oscarson RFP, Sean's setting up a discussion with Blue Line so that we can outline their exact tasks to get back a firm cost and estimate from them for Oscarson. And Mill Pond Bridge, John went over where we are. We decided in the meeting that we would purchase the blue lamps. Those that don't know what a blue lamp is, there it is. You'll see those on the 2 sides of the current rates. These are new ones. There's some advantage for us buying those because we can shorten purchase time and get some breaks on the cost. We also need to define the concept to get a working plan in place and develop the timelines. One of the issues that we had was underneath the bridge, there's a big strand, a big conduit carrying a bunch of different cables. That are actually cables from 3 entities. Sean and John visited with CenturyLink and Qualcomm cable. They think their lines are abandoned, so those will just be removed.
No, they're not abandoned.
They're not abandoned?
No, they are alive.
They are alive.
They are alive, but they maintain it. They don't have any problem with us working around them as long as we reconnect them with some U-clamps up under. But as far as having to remove it while we're doing the work or anything like that, they're totally happy with it.
Rocky Mountain Power is the bigger sticking point in today's power. I don't know if John wants to talk about that, but they were talking about maybe doing a bore and burying those lines. We have some land use issues if we need to work through if they go that way. But that would be nice to get those power cables off that bridge if that's really stuff.
So the people I met with this morning, they don't know why it was built the way that it was. You gotta realize it was like 50 years ago. And, so they are somewhat concerned about the, where it's at, but they are also, think we could leave it in place and, you know, rebuild the bridge around it and re-support it temporarily while we do it. We just have to do it in smaller chunks. And I don't think that's a problem. But they would really like to, take the line and go underneath no pond and be on the, whatever side of the bridge that is, the west side, I guess. Come over there, they show me how it's routed right now, which was different than I thought it was. And show me how, anyway, we're gonna talk to some people, Rocky Mountain Power. I'm supposed to find out a little bit of information about the water and the ground underneath the water, just do a little preliminary work, not a bunch. And then, if they can get approval, then they're gonna go back to get that done. They really, people I talked to really want to get off the bridge. So, if they got it, they said they'll pay for everything, other than, they've asked us to help do some survey work. I didn't think that was an issue, so I told them to go for it. So that's what I said. I have gotten all the details, put together for the engineers. They wanted me to figure out some things, I got that figured out. I was hopeful to meet with them right away and get them that information. And we'll finish it up. They're going to give me some information regarding getting a lady to bid and helping us in those situations. We can take it or leave it. Be wise.
Do you know if
I'm working on it.
I didn't mean to interrupt, do you know if we have a contract with Century Link and Qualcomm to have their facilities on our property? That's not a PUE easement, as far as I know.
Yeah,
To John's point, I'm not surprised that Rocky Mountain Power wants to bury their cable and get it off the bridge.
Yeah, one thing they were talking about was that they gave easement a couple of different ways, but I didn't think that was a good deal. I figured we could come up with that.
If the cables, just a question,
yeah, I don't know of any easement or grant or guarantee for Century Link or Qualcomm to use it. I'll research that, look at that, see if there's anything, but I don't think so.
okay, thank you.
This is the trail section we were talking about. This is where the sound wall trail comes in and links up, so it'll look about like that. The original plan was to just use a single road coming down here. Brett's concerned about the cut and fill. If we have to make this ADA, a significant amount of fill down in here, bring that up so it gets off the slope, get it back to 5 or less. A better solution we think is coming higher on the hillside. Now, whether that means moving this up and making a single track at 5% higher on the hill, or building a second ADA ramp. We asked Ensign to look at those two options and give us cut-fill asphalt costs so we can make a decision as to which way we think we want to go. So this is sort of leaning forward into phase 3. We put that last phase where we put the trail down to the we were looking at how this mesh point would be up here as part of the sound wall to make sure that it could actually link up. We don't see any significant issues there. The only question is where we would want to actually put that trail on that section.
So just so I'm right, this is on oriented, right? That trail coming down is
This trail,
that trail coming down is the trail going out to the road?
this trail right here is sound wall. So the one coming around the trees would link up in through here. And we would, Huh?
That's a lot of concrete,
Well, it's asphalt.
or asphalt.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's,
this
that's water, that's water.
yeah, this trailing.
Kind of get water in a circle.
So, yeah, the question is it cheaper to do the asphalt and keep this at this grade, move this up and make this all here? These, we've got several options to look at. Ultimately, down about here, it's all gonna link up to that loop that goes around the thing. It's a matter of how we get from the parking lot down to that connection. Okay? Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Jim. Board review and possible approval of April 8th, 2026 meeting minutes. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
Can I just give you a fast update on the policy?
No. Oh, yes, you can, sorry.
That's okay, if you don't want it. That's okay.
I was gonna say, no, it's not on the agenda, we can take up.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
We're moving ahead pretty quickly. I've run into a stumbling block that I'll get bring up to you a little bit later, but, we're trying to work with AI, and I can see some distinct advantages to doing that with speed and being able to do it. Not necessarily get it right the first time, but it makes it faster. So, but anyway, I feel like we're going pretty fast, and we sent out recently, about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, some, like a survey, looking for your comments on a couple of items that we sent out with regards to policy and procedure. And we're working on, and we hope, I hope that you respond to those. If you haven't, please do so right away. And then we're very close on the GM replacement policy, and we're working on the employee manual, and also on the safety manual. And we've got a number of things coming together, but anyway, we're running out of time really fast, and I'm trying to push it as quick as I can. Trying to get them all done before the end of the month. Anyway, if there's something that we've sent to you and asked for your response, please do the best you can to get that back. I don't want to get to the end and then somebody be upset that they haven't seen it. That's not what I'm trying to do. But if you don't have time to respond, I guess you don't. But can't wait. Do the best you can. Thank you.
All right, John, thank you, sorry.
No
Skip right over that. Okay, board review and possible approval of the April 8th, 2026 board meeting minutes. Any comments, questions?
So I looked at those minutes and then started to make some notes, and by the time I was making the notes, I saw some comments that came back from you to Ingrid, and with the changes that you guys made, I thought that the minutes were more substantially correct.
Okay.
Did anybody else have any comments on that?
Seeing that, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 8th, 2026 board meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
The motion from Kyle and a second from John to approve the meeting minutes. Wayne, how do you vote?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Brett votes yes. Rob? Kasey?
You still there, Kasey?
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Kasey. Board review and possible approval of the March financial statements, purchases, and journal entries. Are there any questions on that?
I took the opportunity to go over some of the, check register issues with, Ingrid, yesterday, today, and she answered all of my questions and explained to me what I would do, why, and, so I feel comfortable with what we've spent money on, I feel comfortable with the solutions, and that she was telling me why and what for. You know, each month I get a little better at how to read this, so I'm comfortable with what's there.
Thank you, John. Any other questions, comments from anyone? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
You're right, okay. So I make a motion to approve the March financial statement journal entries and purchase in the amount of $140,326.08.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Rob, a second from Kyle. Wayne, how do you vote?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Kyle?
Aye.
Brett votes aye. Rob?
Aye.
Kasey? Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Next order of business is board review and possible approval of moving the board of directors meetings to 6:00 p.m. Had a little bit of discussion about that, last meeting. There were a few conflicting, desires, so we'll have a little bit more discussion on that subject, and we'll move forward based on the board. So, Wayne, what are your thoughts about moving to 6:00?
I like to come.
Okay. John?
I don't. And here's why. I really feel, and I know Kasey has talked about the ways to maybe get around this, but I don't particularly agree with what he has to say. I just don't feel that it's fair to where a lot of our constituents are traveling from work to from Salt Lake out to here. It's difficult. They do it all the time, and it's tough to get there by 6, but we'll get to a meeting or anything like that. So I don't feel like, I think we put our constituents at a disadvantage. I think, the voice communication we talked about, saying, oh, you can pick it up and you can put it on your phone or whatever. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I can barely hear Kasey right now. And so I don't see that as being a viable option, frankly. You can't always hear. I've been remote on at least 2 or 3 different occasions, and it doesn't, I feel like I just don't feel like it's effective. Face-to-face discussions are always better. A lot of problems better that way. And I think if we do that, I think we're going to make the community less involved. I mean, I agree that they're not here now, or rarely here. I don't know how many are on. They're on. But I just don't feel that that's the best way to operate. And I feel like it reduces our transparency. It's almost like we're trying to make it more difficult for them. So I can't support a 6:00 start.
Thanks, John. Kyle, what's your thought?
My thought is this, I kind of like having family, dinner, and 6:00 would be tough for me. The other thing, that's mostly mainly it. I think it's a good break for people to go do their thing and get here at 7:00. So that's my answer.
Okay. Rob?
I'm good either way. I understand what they're saying. I can go 6 nights based on that.
Okay. Kasey?
Kasey.
Yeah, I still think days a week because they're on 2 meetings. So I personally would actually like to see them 6. That's more the standard for most state meetings, realistically. In my experience, but, you know, that's just my opinion on it. I would prefer to do the 6 o'clock, and I'm totally on the case if it doesn't work, right? It's not that hard for us to put it back to 7 o'clock, but I think it'd be a fair shot to get it, you know, put it at 6 o'clock and see what happens. We might get a bit more public showing up. We might not get any. We might get what we had, which is almost nothing. So I would be in favor.
So I didn't hear damn word he said, so you want to summarize that?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. His take is that everybody's working a lot of time, more standard to do 6 p.m. than a lot of meetings. And I'm trying to remember what else he said. He felt that it was just, we could try it, see if 6 works better, if not, we can move back to 7. I just,
Yeah, but if 7's already sitting there, why would we, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So the public meetings, by statute are required to be held at 6 p.m. So, but maybe, I guess in my point, I'm more along the lines of Brock. I'd probably prefer 6 p.m., but I don't have a problem with 7. What about 6:30? Would that be a compromise? I mean, last week.
On occasion, you've done, or we have done 6:30 because we had a public hearing on occasion. But we don't do that every week or every other week.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, the rare occasion that we've had that, you know, it's like 4 times a year or something.
What are the staff's thoughts and feelings? Jim?
I don't really care. I'm more concerned about when we're ending these things, we end them at midnight. It's a little difficult for board members, the staff, even the audience to stay for those. If we keep moving along like we are, and there is 7, I think that's fine. I think earlier would give us a chance to maybe engage a little differently, but I think they work fine now. I think they work fine at 6. So I'm pretty easy there.
How's like this here tonight? It's not on the agenda, but we'd ask your opinion. Is it a big deal to move it from 7 to 6 in your minds?
6 o'clock is pushing it to get from Salt Lake if you're coming from an office.
Okay.
It's going to be pushing to get through the commute. The 7 o'clock hour has a buffer to it. 6:30 is a good compromise.
I'm fine either way. I would say though, with all the banners that we should have a banner out front every other Wednesday that says, public meeting tonight, you know, speak Trump, and share your thoughts, because that's why, there's so many times when I'm out here and people, who do I say this to? And it's like, well, you could come every other Wednesday. People don't know. So, I made a QR code, that's the words that say, Stansbury board meeting tonight, all residents welcome.
Thank you.
I have no input, sir.
Okay.
Like the February 2nd.
No input.
John?
John?
6:30 would be pleasant.
Ingrid?
I would go 6. I average 2 to 3 meetings a week, evening.
Can I ask you a question? Because you mentioned when we were talking about state statute 6 p.m.
Prior to 6. And so I was just basing that if it's good for the statewide for public meetings to be held at 6 o'clock, then
We should get rest.
yeah. we can try 6:30, maybe do a compromise. Or leave it at 7.
I'm fine with compromise, I'm fine.
How about you, John?
I like 7.
Okay, if somebody would like to make a motion to go to 6:30 or to 7, then we'll move on that motion.
So I'll make a motion that we retain the meeting of the board. I make a motion that we have the agency board meet at 7 o'clock, for both the work and business meeting, or every other Wednesday if we've got it scheduled. And if we have to have the occasional 6:30 meeting for public hearing purposes, on the occasion, I'm okay with that, but I think the standard meeting ought to be 7.
We have a motion on the table for keep our meetings at 7 o'clock. Is there a second?
Can I second that, but then have us like revisit this maybe? It sounds like there's some more thought to go with this, right? Sounds like we're very right on this topic.
Sure. Yep, we could, continue to meet at 7 and have more discussion in a future meeting, and that's what we want to do. Or if somebody seconds it, then the motion dies, we have more discussion at tonight's meeting.
So is there a way to, can we just have a discussion?
Sure.
So I heard there's three other meetings. Is there any way to, I mean, you're there at all of them. Ingrid's there. Does she need to be at all?
We've split them out so that Kellyanne is supposed to be the planning meeting, she's a policy and finance. So, yeah, but she also does,
What's your other meeting?
she also does the, community affairs meeting, so it's not a different function.
So I guess my other question is are staff members adjusting their time to make sure they're not working crazy hours?
I typically don't even typically that, so.
We don't.
That's the issue.
Why is that an
I
issue?
think that's,
Why is that an issue? If you go to Salt Lake City in there,
No, the issue is they're working too many hours. It should be,
those that are in Salt Lake City, either the city council or the mayor's office and or the county council and the county office doing the same thing. Why is it different on that side of the mountain than it is on this side of the mountain?
I adjust my hours when I go to the board meeting. Meaning, I don't go as early as in the next day. So I'm around 40 to 50 hours a week. Right? Okay. So if she's working 90 hours, that's not fair.
She's working 90 hours. You guys are making an assumption that she is.
70.
Yeah,
She works a lot of hours, so I know that. Well over 40 hours. Wow.
So,
I think on top of this too, I'm sorry if I'm interjecting. We're talking about they're working a lot of hours, and that's just weekly. Like, they're also getting pulled in from what I see on weekends to work things within the committee. So that's where my kind of comes to guys. That's kind of gonna say, no, we gotta go with. We can't have a blind working 90 hours. It's not fair. That's my sense, and this is the one thing we can do as a board.
What did he say?
He said that he felt that people are working too many hours, and that anything we can do to reduce that burden, the board to do to reduce that burden is probably a good thing. The half hour change is enough to help ease that burden, he thinks that we ought to consider. Did I do that okay?
Yeah.
I think we're doing this, to be fair, I think we're doing a lot better than we used to.
You are.
So, climate wise, I think that's,
Well, it doesn't sound like I got a second, so either Bob's got a second or.
Make a motion to,
For lack of a second.
make a motion, the board review and possible approval, moving the board director meeting to 6:30.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
We have a motion on the.
yeah, we got
The motion, we got it, nobody seconded it. So John's motion died, nobody seconded John's motion, so your motion now is on the table, we'll read it 6:30. Any further discussion, or is there a second for that motion?
I'll second that motion. Good compliment.
And we have a motion to move our meetings to 6:30 with a second from Kyle. Any further discussion? Have you seen that way down evil?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Kyle?
Aye.
That is yes. Rob?
Yes.
Kasey? Okay, thank you, motion passes unanimously. Board member reports and requests, open comment session for individual board members to present final thoughts on any subject covered in the meeting, updates on individual projects not covered by the GM, and requests for future board actions. Kasey, we're going to start with you if that's okay. Do you have anything you'd like to discuss?
Casey, do you have anything you want to discuss?
No, I'm good at this time.
His question was no. Rob, and you.
No, good.
Kyle?
Just a couple things, just wondering, with your irrigation text, just wondering if you need help, Mr. Gordon's here, first time he can answer this. Do you need help with weather track this year, with programming?
We've got Wright is doing a lot of programming. Go on and look at the golf course, what he's been doing over there. And I think he's gotten most of that program. But yeah, we could probably use some training if nothing else.
Okay, so some training? Yeah. Okay, you wanna, we'll set something up then?
Yep.
Okay. And then you need some help about the field, I could probably put a few hours in.
I think you're probably busy enough, Kyle.
Well, I can.
I did almost stop, there was that moment long I drove by on my way to John's the other day. I almost stopped and asked if you wanted a second job.
We need him.
Well, I can help right then, so. And then also, just with design for the mill pond. So to your point, the cross connection, mill pond is a culinary. That didn't used to be that way, I don't know if they connected it, but it used to be 2 meters down on mill pond, fed that whole area, and then Stansbury, the golf course fed all the way down the parcel.
So, yeah, so what's happened when the golf course was on the culinary system up in town 10 years ago? It was all culinary water,
Yeah, this is still all golf course.
and that's my concern. We need to sever the golf course and keep all the secondary water on the golf course, so we don't get a cross connection here, somebody connecting the irrigation system and the culinary system on that other end.
Okay, when we're looking at this, we need to make sure we right-size the meters.
Well, my thought is I believe it's a 4-inch line coming across the road from the golf course, so we would need to make a tap on the, I need to do a little bit more. We would have the same size line on the culinary that we would try on to.
That's what I was saying, I need to fully understand the system, make sure we really know what the issues are, what everything is, so we can come up with a good plan to fix that. So.
Okay. And then if you need you want me to look over any designs you guys are doing, let me know. And I'll look over designs, because you never design to the capacity of the sprinkler. You're always overshooting. The capacity of the head is in a warehouse, no wind, no nothing. So you always want to overshoot. Rotors by 3 feet. So, okay. I get one.
Okay, thank you. John?
So, on my board with the policy committee, you know, I've got some board members, I've got some previous boards, but they're no longer board members. I've asked them to help, and they're helping me a lot. I need to get one of them a program for Word and Excel program. I need to get it set up so that they can get that purchased. It costs $100 for a year. The system that he has access to is old and slowing us down, and you happen to transfer from a Word program that is like Word 2 or other or something way old to what it is right now. It's causing me a lot of grief. I would really like to ask if we can authorize $100 to get this guy to where I need to have him be so I can be more efficient, he can be more efficient. Help us get this done, if I can get this to him, and we can move forward with these policies that go faster. And I really believe, because we've gone through a couple of these policies, and when you do it without call manually, it takes a long time. This other system will help us so much. We can be done before the end of the year with everything. So I really would like to ask for board's approval to get this guy the right program. Like I said, costing $100 a year, that's it. But, you know, it's more than being a volunteer and getting a lot from him that I can't get like volunteers. It just won't work. So, begging you, I guess.
What is our volunteer policy?
We have provided volunteers with resources if they're doing a job for us. We've provided them with resources to do those jobs specifically that they're doing for us. For example, if they're doing a monitoring on the lake, we'll give them training and we'll buy them monitoring. So that's typically what we would do for volunteers. They're doing volunteer.
So let me get this straight. So we're just converting old files and new files?
No, we're changing, we're building, in fact, in some cases, we're building new ones. And we're taking the policies that we have, monitoring, reviewing them, and bringing them to this board to be able to say, we need to be able to make these kind of modifications in the future. If you want to change your policy, here's something for us to do it.
Right, I understand all that. What's the $100?
$100 is to get a program.
So the individual has the 2007 version of Word and Excel that he uses for his work. He is recalcitrant to.
Oh, so it's for his computer, is what you're telling me.
Yes, he uses it on our,
So, I guess I'm not sure if that requires a board action, or if that's something
Well, I just-
the general manager has discretion over. If that's something that we've done in the past for volunteers that work for us, so if we do need a board action, then we'll have to put it on the agenda next month.
No, I think we're just, if everybody's okay with that, it just seems to be a sticking point in several venues. If everybody's okay with it, I can approve the reimbursement for the purchase.
I need it really, that's,
I don't have a problem with it, for the amount of work that he's putting in, pretty cheap. Yeah, anybody have any objections to Jim moving forward with that? Okay, thanks, John, anything else?
thank you guys. And, I had one other question. I'm not sure if it is.
It's pretty small.
Yeah. Bring it all out.
Well, we have to find out.
Bring it back.
You'll have to prove it up next week. Let's see, I do have one comment, just thank you for everyone for your work and things that you've done. I have noticed, well, Jim, maybe you could ask the golf course guys to get the weeds taken care of around the post, around the maintenance building.
So, I think they did that. They haven't, okay.
They're at least a foot tall.
Okay, I know, we had a discussion about mowing that field out by us. That was the golf course guy who sent out to mow the weeds around the golf shack, and he just kept going. So I assume you've got it all.
This is on the south and west side of it.
Okay, I'll make sure to get those two.
So other than that, I don't have anything. With that said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You have something?
I did not have it.
Comment, motion to adjourn, and somebody second?
I'll second.
The second from John Ray, you vote?
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
Kyle?
Aye.
I vote aye. Rob?
Aye.
Kasey? Thank you, motion passes unanimously, meeting is adjourned at 8:31.